You're watching Mirror now. I'm Amita Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines. Police have accessed the sketch of the accused who allegedly raped a 12-year-old girl in Chandigarh. The incident when the victim was returning home after an Independence Day parade.
जो हमारे पास रिपोर्ट आई है वो nobody has complained that we are short of funds या हमारे पास ऑक्सीजन की सप्लाई में कोई दिक्कत है वो हमारे पास कोई रिपोर्ट नहीं है.
22 letters addressed to Gorakhpur hospital authorities in Uttar Pradesh government. Yet the health minister says the government was unaware about the crisis. But Mirror now has accessed proof of the government's doublespeak. And it is Nitish versus Sharad in Bihar. Rebel JDU Neta tries his hand at another Gathbandhan experiment after secular pitch now organizes safe composite culture rally. After Fadnavis government suspends top Babus for corruption, BJP MLA makes shocking charge, claims 7 officers worth 500 crore rupees. Will CM act against others? Heavy rains in Bangalore causes the lakes to froth yet again. Varthur and Bellandur lakes begin spewing toxic foam, causing serious health hazards to the citizens of the city. Bihar is facing nature's fury for the past few days. Over 56 people have been reported dead, while 69 lakh people in 13 districts have been affected by flash floods. In the state, Chief Minister on Tuesday conducted a second aerial survey of the flood-hit areas. Lalit Modi steps away from cricket administration. Nagaur District Association accepts the resignation of the former IPL Commissioner. Rajasthan Cricket Association to be part of the BCCI. On to the top story we're tracking at this hour. Some news from Bengaluru. The National Green Tribunal will conduct a hearing on the state of the toxic Bellandur lake today. For the last couple of days, meters of poisonous sewage froth have been disrupting the lives of residents in Bengaluru. The issue of Bellandur and Varthur lake frothing is something that the state has been constantly dealing with. Authorities have assured action several times, but no change is visible on ground. In fact, we have Shrija joining us with more details. Shrija, this is one issue that we've been talking about for a while now, Bellandur and Varthur lake frothing over and over again. Tell us, what is the situation in the city? How affected are the residents of the locality?
Well, Amita, as you can see over here, the situation has only got worse. Now, the first step taken by the Bangalore Development Authority, the custodian of the Bellandur Lake, was to put up a steel mesh. You can see the steel mesh over here. Now, despite a steel mesh being put up, we clearly see that the foam has almost spilled onto this particular road. You can see people are crossing through that particular foam. Now, they will have to cross to this particular road to reach onto the national highway, that is Varthur Kodi National Highway 35. Now, we also have residents living in this vicinity, very area. It's been for a couple of months that they have been complaining how difficult it has been for them to live right opposite to this particular lake, where every time there is a spell of rain, in fact, the froth spills onto this particular road. Now, it's not just about the frothing, it's also about the stench that emanates from this particular water body, makes it pretty unbearable for the residents to live in this area. It is not just about the residents. You also have a school over here. There are school students who pass through this particular road. Now, remember, this froth falls onto the skin. The person will have to put up with skin rashes as well as respiratory diseases, what we clearly understand. Now, also remember, once when the fire broke out on this particular water body, that is in the month of February, on February 16th, the National Green Tribunal had taken a suo motu action against all the civic bodies for failing to control the industrial effluents flowing into this particular lake. Now, the reason for the froth being is the higher amount, the higher content of ammonia as well as phosphates, and clearly the NGT has asked all the civic bodies to make sure that the industrial effluents are stopped. Now, today, that is the NGT, the National Green Tribunal, will be hearing the case as far as the Bellandur Lake is concerned. Also, the respondents, that is the BDA and other lawyers representing all the civic bodies, will have to present before the court saying that what exactly have they done over the last couple of months to control this froth, which has been causing problem for the residents.
Also, Shrija, like you pointed out, the National Green Tribunal's hearing is today, and in the last couple of weeks, we've of course seen months actually, we've seen that the civic body in Bengaluru has missed the NGT deadline. In fact, in May they were supposed to clean the lake, which did not happen. The state turned around and said that they could not do so, they can't meet the deadline. And now, with this hearing today, what can we expect?
Well, in today's hearing, the respondents will have to be presenting before the court as to what have they done over the last couple of months as far as the deweeding is concerned. Remember, soon after the National Green Tribunal had, in fact, taken suo motu action against these, in fact, civic bodies, they had come up with an expert committee with short-term and as well as the long-term measures. The short-term measure being deweeding process, installation of aerators, and the long-term measure being the installation of STPs, the sewage treatment plants, which will happen only in the year 2020. But however, as far as the shorter measures are concerned, we are hearing from the BDA, definitely this has been clearly a daunting task for them, because 20,000 tons of weeds have covered this particular water body. Remember, this water body that we are talking about is the Bellandur Lake, which is spread across at least 900 acres. Now remember, this 900 acres of lake has about 20,000 tons, and on an everyday basis, at least 200 tons of weeds is being removed by the weed harvesters, is what we clearly understand. But however, they have not been able to meet the NGT's deadline. Now, that being the first point. The second is the sewage which has been flowing into this particular lake. We also understand that in the Bellandur catchment area, at least 480 million litres per day of sewage flows into this water body, out of which only 250 million litres per day is being treated. Now, what about the rest? Now, to treat the rest of the sewage, we understand that the sewage treatment plant will be installed only in the year 2020. But however, the short-term measures are concerned, now the NGT, in fact the civic bodies, are planning to, in fact, as much as try and weed out the hyacinth which has completely covered the lake, and the NGT, the National Green Tribunal, has given them the time only till August 18th.
Right, we'll keep a close watch on that NGT hearing today. Shrija, do stay with us. We also have Sridhar Pavisetti joining us here on Mirror now. Mr. Pavisetti, first of all, Shrija was just telling us the fact that deweeding has not happened as yet. The state has missed the NGT's deadline several times, and now today we understand the NGT is hearing the matter again. Is there any progress on ground? Mr. Pavisetti, first of all, the lakes in Bengaluru, Bellandur and Varthur have been frothing time and again. You're a citizen of Bengaluru. Tell us, what do you make of this entire situation? Because this was expected, the fact that this situation in the city will only become worse with the onset of the monsoon season. We seem to have a bad connection with Mr. Pavisetti there. Sridhar Pavisetti, an activist joining us from Bengaluru. We'll try and get him back on the line. In the meantime, these are visuals on your screens. Bengaluru lakes frothing yet again. Bellandur and Varthur have become extremely toxic. In fact, you can see froth coming onto the road, covering those vehicles on your screens. This is last night's visuals that you're seeing on your screens. This has only become worse with the onset of the monsoon. Remember, we also saw heavy rainfall in the city of Bengaluru. Now, we understand that the NGT is hearing this matter. Shrija continues to stay with us. Shrija, What is the reaction of civic authorities at this point? Because this matter, we see visuals on our screens which clearly show that the situation has gone from bad to worse. So what are civic authorities saying at this point? Are they in damage control mode?
As you rightly pointed out, Amita, in fact, the situation has only got from bad to worse. In fact, remember after Green Tribunal had taken a suo motu action against the civic bodies. Clearly, they had put up with this, saying that they are doing their best. The first step taken by them was the deweeding process. Now, if that was the case, if they really wanted to complete the process, clearly this wouldn't have been the case, what you're seeing at this point in time. Now, you can see the frothing. What is the first step? They should have ideally taken the frothing to stop and the industries polluting the effluents, in fact, letting the effluents flow directly into this particular lake. Now, as far as the Pollution Control Board is concerned, the Karnataka State Pollution Board is concerned, they are saying that they have already issued notices to at least 75 out of 97 industries in the operating within 5-kilometer radius of the Bellandur lake. Well, if that was clearly the case, now this frothing wouldn't have gone from bad to worse, is what we clearly understand. Now, every time there is a spell of rain here in Bengaluru, now this is clearly the situation, and every year it is only getting worse. Now, despite the National Green Tribunal taking suo motu action against the civic bodies, clearly we see the work is at very slow pace. Now, this is the situation that you're seeing on ground. There is froth, and this is continuing. If you remember, even after the NGT took up the case in the month of February, now it is already August, and the froth continues, is what we clearly see.
When the lake in question, Bellandur Lake, which is already toxic, which has been going on for a couple of years now, caught fire in the month of February, and NGT took up suo motu action. We also saw massive protests by residents of the area who came out on the streets and said that this is not done. This is causing serious health concern, and the civic authorities must take note. Are residents planning such thing, in the coming days, considering you said that the work is going at a very slow pace?
Well, remember, Amita, in fact, when National Green Tribunal had taken a suo motu against the civic bodies, that is when the Karnataka State Pollution Control Board started inspecting as far as what is the reason for the froth is concerned. That is when they had come up with saying that there are 488, a total of 488 industries operating within Varthur and Bellandur. And clearly, there were some of the companies which were complying with the, in fact, rules as far as the Pollution Control Board Act is concerned, the Water Act is concerned, but the rest of the companies, they were issued the notices by the Pollution Control Board. Also, the Pollution Control Board authorities had inspected the apartments, at least 157 apartments, and according to their finding, it was said that they were polluting the apartments in the vicinity of Bellandur as well as Varthur Lake. They were polluting at least 22 MLD, million liters per day of sewage was directly flowing into this particular lake. In fact, clearly remember that BDA being the custodian of lake, and there is a responsibility for the Pollution Control Board also to check, especially as far as the pollution in the water bodies are concerned. Also, the Lake Development Authority comes into play. But also remember, these are the civic bodies who are responsible to keep an eye as far as the pollution of the lakes are concerned. But clearly, they haven't done their job. If that was the case, they should have ideally stopped all the industries, from polluting this particular water body, from which the situation that we see at this point in time is from bad to worse. But residents, what clearly they are saying is that we have
also joining us. Sridhar, do stay with us. We'll come back to you. But Sridhar, this is one issue that we've been talking about for a while now, Bellandur and Varthur lakes, which have gone completely toxic. In fact, yesterday's visuals only talks about how worse the situation has become in the city. This was expected.
Well, unfortunately, of course, it was a heavy rain, but that doesn't mean anything, because Bangalore has over 500 years peak quantum of rain, and what is important for us to focus is what is the status of our stormwater drains and our interconnected lake systems. Unfortunately, the government has not done enough to safeguard and reclaim the stormwater drains and the interconnected lake system. When it comes to Bellandur, the government has not done an honest job of going after the polluters, ensuring that the quantum of pollution that comes into the lake is reduced. Even to this day, we understand and we see that the untreated sewage that's coming into Bellandur Lake is not contained, and we have to take charge of this situation at the earliest. Unless we do this, the suffering of the lake and of the fellow Bangaloreans around that region will continue like this.
Also, Sridhar, what is appalling here is that despite the NGT's rap on the civic bodies, in February, the NGT took suo motu action and we heard several, excuses from the state government saying that they can't meet the deadline, they need more time. And despite that, work is going on at a snail's pace in the city.
Absolutely. See, the fundamental challenge is that the government is not applying its mind and not doing its work properly. For example, they claim that 15,000 metric tons of water hyacinth has been harvested. What did they do? After removing all the water hyacinth, they have left it on the bunds. Now, a heavy rain like this will only make the water hyacinth come back into the lake. They had to have taken it and composted it or biogassed it. Secondly, why are the other measures that are part of the expert committee recommendations not acted upon? What is the status of your sewage treatment plants that are existing? The 781 MLD of installed capacity of the sewage treatment plants are not even functioning to its established norm. So in this kind of a situation, the pollution will continue and a heavy rain like this will expose all the lies that the government is saying.
Sridhar, before we let you go, also tell us, now there are several problems. You mentioned de-weeding, there's sewage flowing into the lake. Tell us what should be done at this point in time by the state government.
I think a systematic approach of going after all the polluters, both industrial, domestic and all kinds of them, and going on a time-bound action plan of reducing the pollution that's getting into the lake has to be acted upon at the earliest. There is a recommendation where we had said quantify the sewage and pollutants coming in all the 17 inlets, go after each inlet and make sure that the Bellandur Lake is cleaner than yesterday. And I think it's a continuous action plan that can do, and if you get into a war zone kind of an effort, we will definitely see results. What government is doing is half-hearted injustice. It's actually negligent, and this negligence is going to cause public health crisis for a large part of Bangalore.
Couldn't have been better said. Sridhar, thank you so much for joining us here on Mirror Now. In fact, the National Green Tribunal is hearing the matter today. Bellandur and Varthur lakes in the city, like you see on your screens, visuals from yesterday showing how toxic the lakes have become, and the NGT wrapped the civic bodies. We'll have to see what comes out of that NGT hearing that we're going to track here on Mirror Now. Staying now with the city of Bengaluru, incidents of stray dog menace have been on the rise. In the CCTV footage that surfaced recently, a pack of dogs was seen attacking a woman in MS Ramaya Nagar area of the city. It can be clearly seen that the woman who was walking down the street was suddenly attacked by 10 to 12 dogs. There has been an increase in such incidents in this area over the last couple of days. Also in the news now, a 12-year-old was raped in the heart of Chandigarh while returning from Independence Day celebrations in school. The accused has not been arrested yet, but the police has released a sketch of the accused. This was the man who allegedly held the child and threatened her with a knife before raping her. A case of kidnapping, wrongful restraint and rape has been registered against him, and a medical examination of the victim has also been conducted. The police are checking CCTV footage from the area to identify the accused. Minor allegedly raped on Independence Day in Chandigarh. Of course, a 12-year-old girl was allegedly raped in the heart of Chandigarh while returning from Independence Day celebrations in school. Now, we understand that the accused has not been arrested yet, but the police has already released a sketch of the accused. That sketch is on your screens at the moment. This was the man who allegedly held the child and threatened her with a knife before raping her. A case of kidnapping, wrongful restraint and rape has been registered against him, and a medical examination of the victim has also been conducted. Vishal, who's been tracking the story, gets us more details now. Vishal, 48 hours on, no arrest made in this case so far.
It's highly shocking. You see, the functioning of the Chandigarh police is under the scanner, and people are raising fingers on the functioning of Chandigarh police. Now, you see a case. Incident took place in a traffic park, which has a police chowki, which the strength is around 40 police officials are deputed at the police chowki. And what's more astonishing is that on 15th August, every police jawan that has been recruited in Chandigarh police is on the roads of Chandigarh because of high alert. And that day, the incident taking place, and till now, no arrest is more shocking. Now, ABP, BP has been protesting against the Chandigarh police. The Congress party had submitted a memorandum to the DGP Chandigarh police, but the police say that they have rounded up 4 to 6 people, and it is just a matter of hours that they will be able to identify those people. The medical of the victim, the minor girl, has been done. And what we can tell you is that Chandigarh police is under a lot of pressure because this second incident that has taken place after Varthur Kundu, this incident taking place. And what's more shocking in that in Varthur Kundu case also, it came to light that around 12 to 15 cameras which were being on the traffic lights were not working, and same is the case here also, where you see that no camera was working and in that area also. It's a park which is in the heart of the city. So several problems, loopholes in the investigation of the police, although the police say that they are investigating the matter and it is just a matter of hours that they'll arrest someone. But till now, no arrest as of now.
Several questions being raised with this incident here. How could this have happened in the heart of the city? How could this have happened on a day where there was massive security as well? And how could this have happened after what we saw with the Varthur Kundu case? So the other question that people are asking at this point is how safe really is the city?
See, Chandigarh has been considered to be a very smart city. And incident after incident related to women's security has exposed the functioning of Chandigarh police. Now, the basic line taken by the Chandigarh police is that crime can happen anywhere. But what is the police doing? That is important. In Varthur Kundu case, they had, after a lot of media hue and cry, then only the necessary sections were added. And in this case, you see that till now no arrest has been made, which is why this Chandigarh police is under the radar scanner of the people of the city. They are saying that this is not done. There is some big flaw in the system, basically in the functioning of the police, and that is why incident after incident happening and no action. What's more important is if you talk about Chandigarh, they talk about high-tech cameras, high-tech police, PCR vans within a span of around 2 to 5 minutes. Everything they talk on paper. Right. You heard the governor also on the Independence Day talking about women's security, but when it comes on the ground, on the execution part, the execution part is far, far behind.
Well, several questions being raised with this incident. Women, of course, a 12-year-old girl was allegedly raped in Chandigarh, and the sketch of the accused has now been released. 4 to 6 people, like Vishal was telling us, have been taken into questioning, but 48 hours on, no arrest made so far. Also in the news now, the new application and web portal Saraha has quickly gained a lot of popularity among people, but it has also become a platform for cyberbullies and trolls to target people, as you can send messages to people without revealing your identity. People can take advantage of the application and troll others, but no action can be taken against them because of the anonymous nature of the sender. Cyber experts and psychologists in the meantime have warned parents and teenagers to maintain caution with this app so that no untoward incidents take place.
The new app and web portal Saraha, which has gained a lot of popularity among people, is fast becoming a platform to be used by cyber trolls and bullies to target people because their true identity will never be revealed. Now, this particular app Saraha, which was developed by a Saudi developer in early February, has gained a lot of prominence as well, but it is also being used by bullies, haters and trollers to verbally abuse, harass, stalk and even threaten people online. In the wake of all of this, when we also spoke to a lot of users of Saraha who have experienced similar cases of stalking and threatening by bullies and trollers, they have said that they have received multiple messages which are absolutely filled with lewd comments and harassment, even threats of rape. Now, psychologists and cyber experts have also warned the excessive usage of this particular app, as this could have a very adverse impact on teenagers as well as people today. In New Delhi, this is Apurva Sridhar for Mirror Now.
We're wrapping things up here on this bulletin. We'll come back with more news and updates.